Hello guys, and today we're talking about not to be rigid in our view of dyslexia. And it really makes us realize that saying, oh my god, I may have these opinions about myself, these opinions about my dyslexia, it could maybe be keeping me from learning, or maybe that might not be true, but be open up to the possibility saying, well, yeah, I can change this belief, I can change this understanding when a better belief or understanding comes along. And having that power is so critical in developing and conquering our dyslexia, and keeping rigid, like so being set in stone about who we are, about what our dyslexia is, oftentimes keeps us and holds us back from the gifts that it can give. So the big question is this: how can dyslexics like us create a place, a community, a tribe where people at any stage of life can come and solve any challenge, amplify their strengths, and ultimately help them become who they were meant to be, or in other words, conquer their dyslexia? That is the question, and this show is the answer. My name's Theo Goff, and welcome to the Conquering Dyslexia podcast. Hello guys, I hope we're doing good and alright. Today, I want to talk to us about not to be rigid in our view of our dyslexia. Not to be rigid into what we think our dyslexia is for us. And I want to start this in sort of like introducing where we think like, well, what does it mean dyslexia for us? It's just the word dyslexia. It's just a thing called dyslexia. It's out there in the world and we learn about it. And that's what we have. That's wrong. You don't just have what you learn about dyslexia. If you say, oh, the signs of dyslexia, this doesn't mean you have all of them. Like signs of dyslexia, reading, writing, forgetting, sense of direction. Some dyslexics have an amazing sense of direction. Some other dyslexics, like me, have awful sense of direction, and so many other things. And so there's not one type of dyslexia. It's a smorgasbord. It's a massive, large range of different severities, of people finding different things harder, different things easier. Some people might be really good at some things, really good. It's like some dyslexics are like, okay, I can have good handwriting, I can speak really good, I can speak really clearly, I can formulate my thoughts, and I can spell really good. But writing is I can spell really good, but reading is so hard. Now other people say, oh, well, I can read, but I can't write and do all these other things. See, it's different. There's no one size fits all. There's definitely commonalities, and there's trends, definitely. But when we're talking about our experience of dyslexia, I'm talking about you. I'm not talking about what you've learned. I'm talking about your life with your dyslexia. And sometimes, really often, what holds us back is a story we tell ourselves about what we think our dyslexia is. For example, you're going through school, and people may say, "Oh, you've got dyslexia. That means that you flip numbers back to front." Well, only a small percentage of dyslexics only do that. But before in the past, everyone used to believe that people flip numbers back to front if you're dyslexic. And I remember people coming up to me day after day, time after time, saying, "Does numbers move around in the page? Does it flip upside down? Does it look different?" And I'd be like, "Well, no, it doesn't look different." Time after time with them asking me, seeing all these different coloured papers in front of me, like, you mean all these different colour overlays? And I was like, well, it doesn't make much of a difference. Then they kept on shoving it in front of my face. I was like, yeah, that makes a difference. Just because I think it's what they wanted to hear. But it wasn't true. And so oftentimes we can be sort of like coerced, or we can be told something that's not true, but we can believe it because so many people are saying it, or we think, well, it must be true, that person's saying it. It must be true, you mean the internet says it must be true, this expert said that's what dyslexia is, so this is what I have. I must be wrong. And I'm here to say that way of thinking is not, in terms of discovering who we are. Discovering what dyslexia is discovering who we are. Because dyslexia is a word, just to describe a certain part of ourselves that's different than other people. But ultimately it's self-discovery to learn about our dyslexia. It's self-discovery to learn about things that we find hard, the things we find difficult. And one of the worst things that you can do with that is be rigid. One of the worst things you can do is say, I'm defining dyslexia, and never change it. Having a belief saying, this is my dyslexia, this is what I can do, this is what I can't do. I'm going to stay in this lane. Because doing that will limit you to all the possibilities that are out there. doing that will make you fearful, make you scared, make you unflexible in your approach. If you believe the world isn't, the world isn't designed for dyslexics, and you can't really have an easy life in terms of doing like everyone else is doing something that they spend time on. You can spend the same amount of time on it, not doing double or 3 times or 4 times on the same project or the same piece of work. And we think, oh, so it's so much harder for us as dyslexics. With that belief, do we think it makes us have more energy to go out there and to do it? No, of course not. And is that true? Is that 100% true across the board? That is an utter lie. It's a lie because of a couple of things. It's a lie because, well, there's people out there that are dedicated to help you. It's a lie because there's resources out there. Like, there's technology out there that can help us so fast. It's a lie because there's law and there's legislation behind it so other people can actually help us. See, there's so many reasons why that's a lie. So it's not really that true. But some people fall into that trap, don't they? And maybe you have as well. I definitely have, of believing something's a certain way and then being blinded by the other possibility. Maybe my dyslexia might mean this. Maybe I might think of other things like this, or maybe, that's why I've done this, or that's why I thought of this so different. It's a journey of self-discovery. I'm not saying you have to read every single book of dyslexia, even though they completely like why dyslexia exists, and they contradict each other. If you want to find out the answers to what is dyslexia doesn't matter. The answer is who you are matters. I'm speaking about this, my passion isn't to change the legislation in all the schools. My passion isn't to change that. People on that journey, and it's so critical that it has to be done. And it's a fight that has to be fought continuously. But I'm not on that side. I'm on the side of, look, it's up to you to change it. Yes, things aren't easy. Yes, things are hard. But it's down to you to change it, to change this journey. And you have to be flexible. Now, what does it mean to be flexible? Well, I'll give you like a little story, like a very, very, very funny brief one. I was driving home today and driving home from work. My dad called me. I haven't seen him in like a couple months, about a month or so. And like, I'll give you a little bit of backstory. Like, honestly, he's the kindest, gentlest person out there by far. But oftentimes I feel it like, sometimes, when people have that certain tone of voice that annoys you. You know what I mean? Like, you're saying these are him. Why can't you just think like I think? Why can't you just live in my world of what I think is right? You know what I mean? Disagreeing with what they say or what they do. And I do get that quite a lot. Not anything negative. And it was like wanted to meet because he can be busy and stuff. And so, okay, I want to meet as well. And he lives like a 45-minute drive away, so he drives down and we meet for a bit. And you normally walk the dogs. And that's our normal routine now. And he called up and he was like, and he asked me to meet at the weekend. And I was like, well, I'm not sure because I'm doing this Conquer Dyslexia Live, all this sort of stuff, other stuff. It's like, okay, just let me know. So I sent him a message saying, I would love to meet you at 9 a.m. on Saturday. And because we were talking about earlier on Sunday, so yeah, 9 a.m. Saturday, you can do that. And he called me up and said, I can't do it because I have to pick up a Christmas tree. I was like, but Dad, can you see me later that day? It's like, well, yeah, I can. Well, why can't you see me early and pick up the Christmas tree later? He was like, well, no, that's not how we organised. I was like, what? Change, you know what I mean? But I heard that voice in my head a lot. And I was just like, well, I wanted that. I did ask, well, why? You know, like, well, blah, 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 blah. And he didn't really say anything. I was like, the old me would have really shouted at him. You mean, not shouted at him, but got annoyed and got frustrated. But I was like, okay, I need to stop thinking this. I need to calm down. And it's a me problem, not a him problem. And basically, I was like, okay, Dad. And he really wants me to meet me on Sunday, and it's not going to be a good day for me because I love getting up and going to Costa to work. That's what I love doing because I can focus. I don't like focusing at home. And then if I stay home and I stay there till like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 a.m. I have to go to Costa, and a lot of time's wasted then because I know I'm so unproductive there. So I don't like missing that time. And Dad was like, oh, that's a good time. I want to meet you on Sunday. I was like, I don't want to meet on Sunday. And I was like, I think about it and text you. And I put the phone down. Because I knew if I carried on that conversation, I would have got more. I knew that. And so basically, put the phone down, and then I text them like, okay, let's meet Sunday, because I remember I heard this thing somewhere where basically when you turn like 20, or like you mean like when you're above being a kid, you like people think, oh, I've got 30-40 years left with your parents. Well, actually no, you have about 5% left with your parents. I mean, you have a very, very minute amount of time, because of the time you can spend with them is so much less. Because when you're young, you spend all the time with them, don't really appreciate it, but when you're older, you know what I mean? Like, you better start appreciating it, because it's running out. Realistically, it's running out. It's like, okay, I remember this, I want to keep my family first. So basically I text them all this sort of stuff. But my whole point of saying this funny little story is be flexible in your approach. Before I'd have done something, and now I've done something else, I'd changed my approach. Even when I'm talking to all these amazing dyslexic people that you've been doing their own thing, and one person said, I can't remember names, but he said, well, basically when we're born, like everyone's born thinking 3D, you know what I mean? They can see your mother's face, 3D, they see objects looking at 3D mind, and when they get a couple months old, they turn from 3D into 2D, but 20% of them don't. And those 20% become dyslexic because they see everything in 3D images. Dyslexics find 2D images hard to understand, like words, reading and writing. They find 3D images easy to understand. So I'm just changing my view all the time. And about who I am, about what my dyslexia is, make it malleable, make it flexible, make it changeable. Because it is. Ultimately, the limits in our life are the limits we set upon ourselves. And that is so true. So be conscious of it and have it fluid. Of course I have limits, of course you have limits, but about noticing them and really trying to get rid of them and moving forward and saying, okay, how can I really empower my life? Because that's what I'm focused on, empowering my life. I don't care like what I believe about this, about that. If it helps my life or helps other people's lives, it's a positive. I need to change my belief, to get my belief out of the way so I can have this good thing come into my life. If it helps me or if it helps other people. Simple as that. And that's the way I think, and that's the way I operate. Like, oftentimes you are getting in the way of realising the gift. Oftentimes you're getting in the way of realising the gift of dyslexia. Realising the strengths that you actually have inside you, because these beliefs, these things about how you have to be, how you have to act, who you are, who you are, like your limitations, are keeping us from realising the gift. I know it's easy just to say it, but to execute on it, that's what my passion is. And I think like listen to these every day. I'm so grateful I have your time, I have your ears. I'm so grateful, because when I'm listening to podcasts, the only thing I'm listening to is them, no distractions. So one of the things like I love people taking action. I know this will help you grow and help you develop, but I really feel I'm really building up to, I'm saying it a lot, the Conquering Dyslexia Live happening 11th and 13th of December. This is something that you'll take a lot of action on, because there's 20 hours of content. And it's going to be so good, it'll be so exciting. I'll leave a little comment thing down in the comments so you can access it. It's completely free to sign up and join. I'm so excited for it. Anyway guys, take care, farewell and bye.